As many of you probably know, I absolutely love collecting very rare Game Boys. So when I had an opportunity to pick up a Mirinda Game Boy Color, I was very excited. This is one of the most desirable Game Boys. It's also a really pretty one as well. It's a complete orange Game Boy. I do actually have an orange Game Boy Color, but this one is orange and black. This is the Die-Hawks limited edition Game Boy Color, and this one is boxed in very nice condition. And so this Game Boy right here in front of me is worth a lot of money. There's one that sold not that long ago for $1,700, and there's one up for sale right now for around about $3,000. However, I think this one is fake. So where there's great desirability and rarity, there's a very high price. And Game Boys are in a bit of a boom right now, as are a lot of other retro things. I mean, look at Pokemon cards, for example. And so unfortunately, it's in the interest of the companies that make Game Boy shells to create one that's going to look like a very rare, desirable Game Boy. Now, that might not necessarily be just to scam people, because there's lots of different rare Game Boy Color shells that you can buy so that you can make your Game Boy look like one of the rarer ones, which, let's face it, are really, really expensive. And if you like the design and you want to own the Game Boy, but you don't want to spend hundreds and hundreds, it does make sense to buy it. But unfortunately, not everyone is as genuine in that, and this one has been passed off as a genuine article, but in actual fact, it is fake. And I'm going to show you the reason why in today's video, and I also want to open it up as well. But the first thing I wanted to do is actually compare this shell to the Die-Hawks limited edition Game Boy Color, because this one in theory should be the same sort of orange as it would have been on the original official one. And that does look to be about right. Now at first glance, these are nearly identical. They really are. It's actually insane how accurate they've been able to get that. That is absolutely crazy. I mean, there is very, very minor differences. The only real one that I can see is that inside the Nintendo logo of the fake, it's much shinier than on the official one. I'm not sure if you can even really see that, but that is pretty much the only difference that I can see immediately. In terms of quality, I mean, they look and feel exactly the same. I would say that is actually so scary how accurate that is. I mean, for the people out there that are looking to actually buy one of these, that is going to be a real nightmare. One thing I can say is that the alignment of these little sort of design, these grips here, possibly for taking the cartridge out, they are not aligning very well on the fake one. So maybe that is a little telltale sign and a giveaway. And it hasn't quite closed up as well on the fake one. Truly quite a scary thing to look at. I wonder if I get my phone torch out. This is the real one up against my phone light, and then this one is the fake. I would say that potentially the fake one looks a little bit more sort of red than orange. It's a bit of a hotter color. But if you're testing that, it's probably too late. You've probably already bought one of these. I mean, here's one right now on eBay, which I would actually say is a scam. And in the description, it just says sold as seen. But what's weird about that one is that the sticker on the back looks to be genuine, whereas the sticker on this one is definitely fake. And let me show you. So just look at the edges of this sticker. They are nearly square, like actually right angles, sharp corners, whereas on the fake one, they're much more sort of rounded off. Now, as well, this Game Boy is in really, really good condition, but the screen has some scratches on it and the sticker has some wear to it, where this one is pretty much immaculate. There are some scratches up here, but the sticker on the back is just kind of too perfect. Now, don't get me wrong, I do have some Game Boys that are in this good condition, but if you're on a site and you're looking at photos of a Game Boy, you should expect to see some sort of damage, especially scratches here where the Game Boy cartridge slides in and out versus this one. As you can see, there's loads. And the other massive, massive giveaway is that on the sticker for the serial number, the writing is just all over the place. I mean, look at that 9, for example, whereas on the official one, it's much more uniform. Now, one thing we obviously have to do is open it up and see the condition of the inside, because maybe this is something that might just be fun to play on, but is it worth buying them? Is the condition of the inside good? Now, I don't actually know if these are going to be something that will come up again for sale from a company in China or someone on some auction site trying to pass it off as being real. So it might just be that someone in the UK or someone in the US has bought this shell on AliExpress and tried to reshell it and then flog it on a local site. So you just have to be really, really careful. But wherever this one's come from, I want to see what the motherboard and screen looks like inside. I mean, I'm not saying that all of these are going to have whatever quality of refurbishment this one may or may not have had. So that's just something to bear in mind. So let's take this shell off. I have to say, that motherboard inside looks absolutely spotless. Absolutely spotless. That really is a very, very clean motherboard inside. Okay. So I have a couple of thoughts. The first one is that the rubber membranes are actually legit. And you can tell because there's quite a lot of wear on the little black conductive pads. Can you see that there? Let's take that off. That has a lot of dirt in it as well, which is really confusing me. I'm just actually quite confused right now as to, I mean, there's no denying this shell is fake because look at the inside of this right here. There is no Game Boy, genuine Game Boy in history that has ever come with a protective film over the cartridge slot. That is 100% not genuine. My only thoughts are that the buttons, for some reason, are the original buttons from the Game Boy. Because, yeah, look, flipping over that D-pad, that is in absolutely minging condition. That is absolutely disgusting. But that is definitely a genuine D-pad. None of these fake shells are going to have this much wear already. On the underside of the action button contacts, they're dirty too. And let's have a look at these buttons here. I mean, that's another telltale sign. Oh, for goodness sake. Right, let's look at this separately in a second. These buttons as well, both the original genuine buttons, quite dirty, a little bit scratched up, so they're definitely real. Now, I don't know if you saw that there, but the screen just fell out, and that's because there's no adhesive around the inside of this screen bezel, so there's another massive giveaway. But again, that's something that is too late. If you're taking this apart, that means you've already bought one, and hopefully no one's done that and actually been scammed, other than, well, myself. Another really telltale sign about these fakes is that the print quality is just nowhere near as good as Nintendo's official one. So if you look here at this little print, it's kind of got like a white edge to it and it's raised slightly. I mean, if I rub my nail across there, I can absolutely feel it. Now, if you compare that to an official limited edition console that has an actual print on it, this is absolutely invisible and it's the same print quality as the Start and Select in A and B. You can hardly feel that at all if you run your finger across it. There we have it, a very fake Game Boy. I hope no one's gotten scammed. That's it's a pretty atrocious thing to think about, that these are introduced into the world, and as of right now there is one on eBay which is a scam, so that is very scary. But yeah, these things are super accurate. I'm going to put this whole thing back together and give it away on my Instagram. Look in the description, there'll be a link. I'll catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.